Welcome to Maths 1932E in class activity forming effective study groups. Consider the following statement. The time I've spent working in a study group has in general helped me to learn more effectively. Do you agree with this statement? Why or why not? I want you to pause this video and think about this question and think about what you have been able to do with study group and write down some possible answers, and we will discuss the details later on. The objectives for this activity is that we will try to understand why students learn best when they are actively involved in the learning process. An effective study group, possibly in conjunction with other methods of studying, can help students learn more and retain information longer than studying alone. You will be able to describe how to form and conduct an effective study group, and also identify key characteristics of effective study groups. What is a study group? And what is its purpose? Think about this question and come out with some possible answers. Answers are going to differ based on one's experience. And so try to come out with something that is familiar with your situation or something that generally is acceptable. Now, a sample answer is this. A study group ideally has no more than 5 group members and meets regularly to study one or more subjects in a disciplined manner so that all students can benefit from the multiple perspectives and skills of group members. Now, if you look at the definition, we are saying that the members should not be less than 5 groups, right? And no more than 5 groups. The reason is that if you should have like 2 members forming a study group, these members are going to lack the ideas and contributions that may come from a group with more members. And also, if you have group members that are more than 5, then you are going to have a lot of people around, and it might not be possible to get everybody involved. And so you have to restrict the group members so that you don't go above 5, but you are not also way below 2, so that everybody can contribute and will be able to share ideas together. The next thing you have to realize that this should be in a disciplined manner. So once you come to the study group, you have to have a purpose. You should know why you are there. We are there to do something, and so you have to be there to contribute. That is very important. And when you are there with that mindset, it helps everybody to benefit from multiple perspectives and skills of group members. Now, everybody that is coming to the study group must come with some skill. Obviously, there are going to be some people who are going to be skilled more than others. But at least you should have an idea of the subjects that you are going to discuss so that you can also make some contributions. What are some reasons students would consider participating in a study group? So as an individual, I want you to think about this and come out with some possible answers why you as an individual would like to be part of a study group. And then pause the video, write your answers down, and let's try to discuss this. Now, these are possible answers. I mean, they can be a lot, but these are two that I have jotted down to get better understanding of the topic under discussion. Sometimes something happens in class and you're not too clear, but when you sit down with your friends and colleagues to discuss it, and you get different perspectives from different angles, it helps you to understand the subject better. And so that is one thing. The next thing is that sometimes we procrastinate a lot, maybe due to other commitments. And so when you know that at a set time everybody is meeting and you are coming together to learn, and people will expect you to be there and they expect you to contribute, to participate, it helps you to combat this procrastination. And at least you would read something before coming to class, to the study group, so that you can also make some contributions. Now, what are some reasons that students might not want to participate in a study group? I want you to think about this as an individual. Are there reasons why you wouldn't like to be part of a study group? Have you had some experiences that put you off? I want you to write this down, and then we will also discuss this as a unit. Now, I have these possible answers, or two of many answers that may pop up, because every individual has a different experience. Now, what I notice is that sometimes students feel rushed. You are given about 5 minutes or 10 minutes to consider a very important topic, and this might not motivate you to try to be part of the study group because of the limited time allotted. Some other times, some people come to the study group and they do not contribute. You realize that the whole contribution hovers around 2 or 3 people, and this might not generate your interest. So these are two reasons that I have put down, and I know that there are a lot, and you can write down a lot of reasons why students might not want to be part of a study group. Question 5. What are some guidelines to forming and conducting a successful study group? So we want to look at guidelines that help us to conduct a successful study group. I want you to come out with some ideas by pausing this video, write the ideas down, and let's discuss it as a group. I have these 6 points down that I want us to discuss. The first thing that you want to look at is deciding the number of members. As we stated earlier on, you don't have to go more than 5, but you want to go way below 5 also. So the members of the group is very important, the number of members. And then number 2 is choosing the members of groups. Is it an informal group, or it is a formal group and the group members are assigned? Are they assigned randomly, or they are assigned based on some needs that we want to meet? And so choosing the members of the group is also very important. The next thing you want to consider is to choose a leader. Now, preferably somebody who can really coordinate responses from all members of the group, coordinate meeting days, assign roles, and ensure that the discussion flows when you meet. And so this is very important, that you have somebody who can fit into this position. You also want to decide timings and venue. Is it online? Is it at a place that you meet to study? Is the time conducive for everybody? Is the atmosphere conducive for everybody? So these are things that you want to think about. The next thing is study or research plans. So what are you going to learn and what materials are available? What are the members bring to the table as far as research and some information is concerned? And so these are things that you would also like to consider for an effective study group. The last thing is how you would connect with experts. As you study, you might come up with issues that cannot be settled. You may have different ideas and different views. But then at the end of the day, you need an authority to bring out the best answer. So you should have an expert that you can always connect with. Now, I want us to look at a few points as we try to bring this topic to a close. I want us to look at the characteristics of a successful study group. Number one, the study group is going to be effective if each group member participates in the discussion. Only then can the discussion be healthy. If any member is quiet all the time during the discussion, it indicates that the topic is not of his or her interest, or he or she is not satisfied with the group. Number two, the group members should listen to each other. The discussion should not take the form of a debate, and any member should not interrupt while another member is speaking. Number three, the group members should be already prepared with the topic of discussion. If all the members are already prepared, it leads to a healthy discussion and a good exchange of knowledge. Number four, there should be no hesitation among the group members. They should be able to ask questions of each other freely. If this is not the case, the doubts may remain in the minds of the members, which may cause a problem in the future. Number five, while discussing, the members should not move to any other topic. There should be a consistent discussion on a single topic. And then the last one is the group members should respect each other. And by this, I mean respect each other's views and respect each other's perspective, respect each other's background. There should be no hard feelings. There should be no criticism while discussion. You can differ in view, but you don't harshly criticize someone else's view. Based on all that we have said, can we think of some advantages of study groups? I want you to pause this video, think about it, and write down some points, and we will look at it together. As I said, there are a lot of advantages. I know you have written a ton of them, so let's look at a few. The first on my list is procrastination. It helps you to do what has to be done in the moment. The next is that by participating, you will be engaging in active learning, which is very important for your growth. The third point is that whenever you are explaining something to someone else, it deepens your understanding. Tutoring someone, whether weaker students or not, reinforces your knowledge. Also, as you interact with each other, other students will give you additional ideas about the information and are likely to broaden the range of predicted test questions. And then the last thing is that the routine work in preparing study materials can be shared. The task of making study aids and essay outlines can be divided and shared. And so remember, we said that before you come to the study group, you must be conversant with the material that you want to talk about. I mean, the study that you want to talk about. And so you will do some research and come out with some materials. As you do all these things, it is a way of learning and it deepens your understanding. Now, anything that has advantages also has disadvantages. And so I want you to think about some of the disadvantages of study groups, list them. It may be your own experiences or experiences from other people. And then pause the video and we will discuss this together after you have come out with some possible answers. Let's look at some possible answers to this question, disadvantages of study groups. Number one is that if everybody is not serious on the group, the study session can turn into a social event, which we don't want to happen. And so if you went to the study group with some seriousness of mind and purpose, and it turns into a social event, then it becomes a disadvantage because you would not achieve the reasons why you are there. Now, the second point is if you study with people who have negative attitudes, then this is going to affect the whole purpose, defeat the purpose for your meeting. So that is why we said that when you come there, try to be nice to everybody. Now, number three, if someone does not prepare for the session by studying alone, then you are going to waste the time, right? So the person will not be contributing and everything is going to be upon just one person talking and actively making sure that the group is learning. Now, the next point is that if the group contains students of widely ranging ability, you may not fit much. If the others are on a level far beyond on your own, you'll soon be left in the dust and be more discouraged than ever. And so you have to go to the study group prepared. Because if you go there and you cannot make a single contribution, you will not feel good about yourself. And so make sure that you know what is being discussed. Just make a little research about it and go there with the intent to contribute. Lastly, you may grow to depend upon the group and not feel you can make it on your own. Be sure to spend sufficient time studying alone. The group study time cannot accomplish all your study needs. And so do not depend on the study group alone. That becomes a disadvantage if without a study group, there is nothing you can do all by yourself.